Hey guys, I'm going to be reviewing the Wave Ma.K Panzerkampfanzug Ausf K4 Ketzer fighting suit. This is going to be the first Wave kit I've built. My other Ma.K kits were the old Nitto versions, so there are some differences. So instead of talking about it, let me just get right into the box. Alright, so when we crack the box open, the first thing we come to is the instructions. This is a colored sheet with simple black and white line drawings when we open it up. Construction looks pretty straightforward. The parts numbers are called out with basic arrows showing the direction in which they are to be glued. You can see there's a pilot figure here, some clear sprue. The writing is in Japanese, I'm going to assume, but you don't really need anything more than the pictures we have in order to assemble the kit. You have an option of 2 different hands, and I'm assuming if you wanted to, you could actually combine some of these straighter fingers with curved fingers to do different things. You also have a choice of weapons. They're both a type of Panzerfaust type weapon. You have a large one and a small one. And then some color photos of the finished kit, and it's just basically the one scheme. The old Nitto kits I have built give you many options in schemes, and I do kind of miss that. It was on a separate card. It had different painting schemes, different markings, but they were also just line drawings, not colors. So the decal sheet, however, does give you plenty of options. Looks like good stuff. Thin carrier film, and had their own name on it, so I don't know if these are an aftermarket company doing this for them or if they have their own in-house decals, but they look pretty good, and they're very similar to what I've used in Ma.K kits in the past. Alright, we have a large bag that has what looks to be 4 sprues on it. And it's just a simple couple staples. And this is Sprue A, and it says Gustav, so I'm assuming these are sprues from an earlier Wave kit that are used in this. The detail looks pretty good. I don't see any major ejection pin marks on exposed areas. I don't see a lot of flash. The sprue gates, fairly typical, and parts such as this will have to really be carefully removed so you don't break them. I did notice this, which is neat. There's all these bolts, and these can be shaved off and added for extra detailing. I didn't see any mention of them in the instructions, but they are nice to have nonetheless. This is Sprue C, and again it says it's for the Gustav. So again, this is just a sprue that is probably common to a few kits. Looks like this is coming off its little sprue gates, but that's no big deal. The parts, again, they look pretty cleanly molded. I don't see a great deal of flash anywhere. Ejector pins are hidden inside, and the detail is, pretty sharp. Sprue B from the Gustav, and everything seems to be clean and well molded, as the previous sprues showed. I'm not sure if this was part of the headrest for the seat. A little bit of a seam line there that's going to require some cleanup, but nothing major. This looks like it's also part of the seat. This is probably where the headrest goes on. Now this is Sprue E, and it says Ketzer on it, so I'm assuming these parts are for this variant. I don't know exactly what this stuff is. Some kind of hatch for the back. These look like joints for the legs or arms, and this is some kind of maybe engine part or something. Another hatch type part. Again, cleanly cast. No flash, really. A little bit of flash is evident inside there. Very little whatsoever, though. This is Sprue D, and it's another Gustav sprue. You can see the hand parts and the fingers. Not sure exactly what this is. It looks like it might be the top of the hand. And these are arm pieces, and this looks to be part of the arm, the gun mechanism. Really no flash evident. Slight bit right there, and a little more right here, but nothing major. This is exactly what I would expect a high quality kit to look like. We have another bag of sprues, stapled shut. And this one is also labeled Ketzer, and it is Sprue J, and it is the pilot's torso. It's just his front, his back, and what looks to be like a helmet. I don't see any flash, I don't see any blemishes. Detailing is pretty nice and should paint up well. Another Ketzer sprue. Looks like it's Sprue A, and it is the pilot's face. And this is his mask and part of his face, and this looks like another part of his helmet. Tiny bit of flash here on the forehead, but I don't see sink marks. No exposed ejector pin marks, and this looks like really quality stuff. Sprue U, labeled a Gustav, looks to be the Panzerfaust weapons. They're pretty big. I didn't expect it to be this big. Obviously this is both of them. I guess this part is the same on both weapons. The only difference is your choice of warhead and the back half. Looks pretty clean. The seam line here on this round part is so minimum. I mean, a little bit of sanding or even drag with your X-Acto knife looks like it'll clean that up great. Really good stuff here. Sprue F. And this is labeled Ketzer as well, so we can assume this sprue is for this kit. Specifically for this kit, I should actually say. The other half of the gun arm, or perhaps this is the gun arm that you use. This could be inside the pilot's seat. Normally on a piece such as this, I expect to find some flash because there's a lot of different pieces of the odd-shaped mold coming together. And to be honest, there's very little. I'm very surprised. There's a little bit right here and up in there where I expect to find it, but it's very minimal. Cleanup should be a breeze on this. If these parts assemble as well as they are molded, this kit should be a breeze. Now this is something I'm not familiar with. As I said, my earlier kits were the Nitto kits. Now Wave does something a little different here. This is the hose, obviously, that you see on a lot of these Ma.K armored suits. All these hoses. It's a flexible rubber-like sprue. And I gotta be honest, I really prefer the copper wire and the metal spring that you shape yourself. Only because cleaning up the seam line here is difficult because of all these little ridges. You don't want to lose all that detail, so that'll be a little tricky. You know, the mold seam is really nothing too heavy. It's very nicely molded, but it's just all of these little ridges can get lost when you clean them up. Also on the Nitto kit, these were actually like a tube that you slid over a hard plastic piece. But I actually think I like this better. Those plastic tubes, they were too flexible. The paint would come off a lot of times. And this looks like it's a little nicer. We still seem to have the polycaps, so things can be moved into, you know, a specific pose or changed. The only thing that really concerns me with something like this is mold release agent on this flexible sprue, so I am going to give this particular sprue a really heavy washing to clean up anything. And I know I didn't say it in the beginning, but this is Sprue PC, and it says Gustav, so this is probably a common sprue to many kits. Lastly in the kit are the two clear sprues. One is labeled Ketzer, and this one is labeled Gustav, and I'm not going to take them out of the bag simply because I want to keep them clean, blemish free. But from what I can see, the clear is molded pretty well. I don't see any blemishes. Actually, I am going to take this one out because I think I see something. And I guess it wouldn't be a fair review if I didn't look into it, but it looks like there may be a blemish you can see here on the plastic. You can actually see it almost looks like a hair, and there's another one there. Perhaps in the molding process there was a slight problem. I'm hoping that some future will take care of that, but we'll see when I get to building it. That is Sprue G, labeled Ketzer, and this is Sprue H, labeled Gustav. But we'll know better once we get into the assembly. Alright, well that was the Wave Ma.K Ketzer Panzerkampfanzug Ausf K4. And it seems to be a really nice kit. Sharp details, everything seems to be cleanly molded. I'll be able to comment more on the fit and ease of assembly once I get building this. And there will be a build thread on Scale Model Addict forum where you can follow the progress as I build and paint this. And I will add to the review with comments about how well it assembled and how easy the instructions were to follow. This was simply out of the box what I see. And thanks to Hobby Link Japan for supplying Scale Model Addict with this kit. You can go directly to the link that will be in the build blog of this kit to Hobby Link Japan to purchase this kit. So that about wraps it up, and I hope to see you on the forum following along. Thanks.